Hi, fellow faculty, staff, and administration. I have been asked to gather information regarding the future of learning, and today I'm excited to share with you all my findings. Most of the information I have gathered is from knowledgeworks.org.
The future is not a fixed point. It is ours to create.
From the one-room schoolhouse of agrarian times, to the industrial-era classroom with desks and rows, to the tech-enhanced learning experiences of a knowledge-based society, education is adapted to meet the needs of learners in a changing world.
As the pace of change accelerates over the next 10 years, the social and economic realities for which education prepares learners could look drastically different than they do today. We all have the opportunity to shape what learning looks like in this new context.
Learning is constantly changing, so how might learning look in 2025? KnowledgeWorks predicts expanding learning ecosystems, more personalized learning, new relationships with organizations. The reasons why people pursue an education and the way they do so can change dramatically by 2025. As technology expands, our ways of learning will diversify and change. KnowledgeWorks has a 10-year future of learning forecast, and it involves working with local partners to identify what forces of change and future possibilities seem likely to shape the future of the learning in your community. Identifying local signals of change that may impact the future. And identifying local opportunities to ensure equity amongst students, teachers, and schools, and to address other opportunities and challenges on the horizon. As the learning ecosystems diversify, new agents of learning will emerge. These agents will help shape the future of learning by assuming new roles that contributes to the expansion and redefinition of education profession and its relationships to and roles in the community life. These agents of learning include the assessment designer, the community intelligence cartographer, the eduvator, the learning fitness instructor, and the learning journey mentor. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss with you these agents. I will list their key functions as well as my interpretation of each of the agents' roles. So first, I'm going to talk about the assessment designer. The assessment designer develops approaches and tools for evaluating and communicating learner performance across different settings in ways that are transparent and easily to understand. So basically, they help come up with ways to best assess someone completing a certain task. When getting assessed on different things, how they are assessed should differ as well. You also want your assessments to be easy to interpret and utilize when determining the next steps for your learners. For example, if an assessment shows the student has developed the skill and understanding of what is being assessed, then you know you're ready to move on. If your assessment shows that your child is struggling in one area, you know that you should go back and cover that content area before moving on. Assessment designers help remove barriers to innovation by creating performance-based assessments that work in new learning environments. So basically, what this means is that they are finding ways one can assess students in a non-traditional way. When students are participating in a hands-on activity or they are participating in an inquiry learning approach, the traditional way of assessment, such as a multiple choice test, is not an adequate way to assess the students. So assessment designers are coming up with ways to assess students that fit with the way education is changing. The assessment designers use techniques and strategies from diverse fields such as online gaming, design, and software to identify the best ways for students to show what they know and where they get stuck. This goes along with the performance-based assessed. So the assessment designer are coming up with innovative ways, like ways just listed, to assess students. I personally think that these types of assessments can help eliminate some of the stress or anxiety students get with traditional assessments. I feel these assessments can result in a better outcome because it is a real-time assessment. It is an assessment as our students are participating in an activity. So here is a little video clip of an assessment designer. This video clip, the full link or the full video can be found on knowledgeworks.org. So here we go.
As an assessment designer, I develop approaches and tools to evaluate and communicate learner performance across different settings in a way that is transparent and easy to understand. The assessment design and consulting firm where I work helps many kinds of organizations create portfolios of assessment methods. I work mostly in the informal education group, while some of my colleagues focus on formal learning environments for young people, while others focus on the workplace and continuing education groups. Right now, I'm working as an assessment designer. I develop approaches and tools.
The Community Intelligence Cartographer. The Community Intelligence Cartographer build and map resources, webs that strengthen original learning ecosystems. Basically, these cartographers create a map of shared learning assets where learners can find them and how to take advantage of them. So the cartographer is the researcher of the information and resources that education can use. They organize the information in a way that is beneficial for the users. Community intelligence cartographers use social media and urban data dashboards to track, manage, and map diverse data streams from multiple agencies and institutions. This basically describes some of the ways the cartographers gather information and resources. This shows that the information provided through the map is relevant and up to date. This means the maps are constantly changing and expanding as the education ecosystems does the same. They often work with regional decision makers and organizational leaders such as learning districts, health agencies, and service providers to make strategic investments, resolve learning inequities, and strengthen community resilience. So basically, they work with outsiders to ensure their resources will help benefit the learners in the long run. They use these sources to also make sure the information is relevant. Community intelligence cartographers love open source data, and they encourage open source data as a community, and education can be developed to best benefit the learners. So I have another video clip of a community intelligence cartographer from KnowledgeWorks. And again, if you would like to watch the full video, it can be found at knowledgeworks.org.
Basically, cartographers make maps. As a community intelligence cartographer, I make interactive digital maps of the resources, people, and relationships that contribute to my community's learning commons. And by that, I mean it's shared learning assets. If you think of the region as a big learning ecosystem, I map all the learning assets, where learners can find them, and how they can take advantage of them.
Now on to the Eduvator. The Eduvator organizes teams of learning agents, learners, researchers, designers, and entrepreneurs to test new ideas, concepts, and technologies using rapid prototyping and design processes. So basically, they are the team leaders of a group of people who want to try new things in the education world. Coaches They are coaches, teams to act as NIBL startup companies that iterate and launch solutions to improve the experiences of learning agents, learners, and parents. The Eduvator assists groups or companies in coming up with ways to improve the experiences. Stimulates experimentation and distributed innovation in education and lowers the risk of entrepreneurial activity by providing collaborative mentoring and peer support. So the Eduvator, again, is acting as a leader or a coach. The Eduvator organizes and supports innovation teams that develop new ideas. They get them ready to launch, and they bring them to scale. They provide collaborative mentoring and peer support through this process, and they connect local efforts to similar projects around the world. Again, I have another short video clip on the Eduvator agent at KnowledgeWorks, and again, you can watch the full video clip at knowledgeworks.org.
I am an educator. That means that I organize and support innovation teams that develop new ideas, get them ready to launch, and hopefully bring them to scale. The teams use rapid prototyping and design processes to identify and implement both incremental and disruptive innovations that can help to improve learners' experiences and performance outcomes.
The fourth agent that I'm going to talk about is the Learning Fitness Instructor. The Learning Fitness Instructor works with learners, families, and educators to build and strengthen learners' cognitive, emotional, and social capacities in support of learning. So basically, they coach and inform with learners and their guiders, whether that be their teachers or their parents, on how the brain works and the way that they can exercise their brain. They use simulations, biofeedback, mindfulness techniques, software-based games, and hands-on activities to help learners reduce stress and develop their cognitive muscles. These are all ways learning fitness instructors exercise the brain. These are great, engaging activities for learners to participate in. Learning fitness instructors conduct formal learning fitness inventories at regular intervals to assess changes in the learner's cognitive readiness. So the learning fitness instructor gets the learners to participate in the brain exercises and monitors and tracks their ways their brain is growing. They can use the results to determine the learner's cognitive ability. They work in diverse learning settings, including schools, home-based learning programs, community learning centers, and public youth programs, offering individual and group training sessions, and prescribing learning fitness plans. So basically, the learning fitness instructor meets with various groups and works with various learners and people associated with the learners. And they come up with learning fitness plans that include the brain activities. Learning fitness instructors focus on teaching learners of all kinds and their parents and the learning agents how to detect stressors and distractions that get in the way of learning. So not only do they provide exercises, they also provide information on how to recognize stressors and distractions and the best ways to deal with them. In my opinion, the learning fitness instructor, or the otherwise known as the brain coach, is very important role in the future of education. I think that when educators and learners parents understand how the brain works and ways to develop brain growth and how you learn is huge. I think the learning fitness instructor can really change the future of education. And I think that here is a video clip of the learning fitness instructor on KnowledgeWorks. Again, if you want to watch the full video, you can go to knowledgeworks.org to access it.
I'm a learning fitness instructor. That means that I work with learners, families, and learning agents to build and strengthen learners' cognitive, emotional, and social capacities. Now, when I walk into a learning environment or workshop, I tell the students, I'm Coach Rollins, and I'm here to get your brains in shape. I educate them about the brain, how it develops, how it works when it's thinking in different ways, how it gets tired or distracted based on what you're doing.
And the last agent is the Learning Journey Mentor. The Learning Journey Mentor forms the backbone of the learning system by guiding kids and working through their learning experiences. So basically, they are the teacher playing the role of a facilitator, and they are there to guide students in their learning as they are discovering information. They work within learners' personal education plans by helping them frame questions and design learning strategies in collaboration with other learners who are sharing similar interests. They are like the learner's coach or planner, or you may even call them the learner's agent. They're there to help the learners determine their abilities, their goals, and the way they learn best. The Learning Journey Mentor help learners connect with people, resources, and activities that can propel them through their chosen learning pathways. Again, as the learner's agent, so to speak, they help students find ways to succeed as a learner and people that they can relate to. They work directly and remotely with learners to help them create their digital learning lifelog, and they use them for reflection on their learning journeys and their personal development. Basically, the Learning Journey Mentor meets the learners individually to discuss their progress. The Learning Journey Mentors work with the learning fitness instructors, the assessment designers, the educators, and other agents to support their learners. And here is the last video clip I have, and it is on the Learning Journey Mentor Agent from KnowledgeWorks. Again, the full-length video can be found at knowledgeworks.org.
Well, I'm a learning journey mentor. In the past, I would have called myself a teacher, but not now. It's kind of different. I feel like I guide the kids in learning through their learning experience. Really, I learn right along with them.
So that is all the information that I have gathered for this presentation on the future of learning. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and ask any questions that you have. I really enjoyed researching about the future of learning, and I think that the knowledgeworks.org is a great resource for any of you that want to dig a little deeper on the future of learning. Thank you.